those continued battery things. I had it plugged on the USB-C, and I thought it was uh, also transmitting power, but it's not. So I figured the bad way. Welcome back to the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail 111K, the sixth stop of the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. How are you all doing? We are now watching a replay on what's been happening. It's been already 9 hours of the race. We got some updates, changes happened on the front side of the men's race. But yeah, let's give it a little bit of a recap on what the day has been so far. On that start line earlier this day at 5 a.m. from Quebec. If you haven't seen it, it was pretty good. Almost 500 runners had started this 111K this year in an interesting, super interesting course. It's a real 111K is the product name, but it's 114.8 kilometers total with 5,294 meters of elevation gain. The race is like a saw, if you want to put the elevation profile on the right. It feels like it's like a saw with four almost let's say 4.5 big climbs, and then a bunch of ups and downs that can crush the legs and make it harder to get to that finish line again in Quebec. So the race traverses the Jura Mountains in Switzerland through the Val De Travers on the Jura Mountains, and it brings you back towards the finish line in Quebec. I think we are now live with images from the course. This is our men's lead. He's not the leader. This is Miguel Areno from Portugal, who's now, according to what we see on the tracker, he's running in second and chasing our brand new leader, Mr. Abel Carretero. If you were tuning us earlier this morning, we just saw around the 70K mark how Abel Carretero did get to our leader, Aleix Toda. Aleix was running by himself the whole race, leading, pulling the train of these talented runners that we have today on this 111K. But it was the clever strategy of Abel Carretero going progressive towards the front of the race that put him on the lead position. Now we gotta wait to see if Miguel Areno, who is the guy we're watching right now, is currently in second or pulling the train. But according to the tracker, he was being in second place. Amazing race for the Portuguese. Also, he was back in the pack. We saw him actually like 5th or 6th in the earlier kilometers, in the early stages of the race. But then, as he's got us, as it's usual to see him, he ran a progressive race to move forward towards the podium places. For those who don't know who Miguel Areno is from Portugal. He's got a background on mountain bike racing. He's been running in the past 2 or 3 years after he dropped his career of mountain biking. He's a construction worker. He's not a professional, 100% professional. He's he's a showman. He's his friends, the Portuguese crowd, they call him Mike Show. He likes giving out shows, specifically on the trail running scene. He's always with his special character, ready to tackle. Not from a funny standpoint, from a fun standpoint, you can definitely say he's having fun out there, outside of competing like a beast And yeah, and pushing really hard, as you can see right now. He's been 9 hours out there, and you can see how fast he's going right now. And yeah, according to our production, our production partners, looks like Miguel Areno is now the leader of the race, is now the leader of the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail, 111 kilometers, the sixth stop of the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. He's finally nailing it on a World Trails Majors race. He was second last year at Trans Gran Canaria. He won Ultra Pyreneo at the end of the 2023 season. He had a bit of a rough mid part of the year, and then to begin the season this year, he tried to go nail Trans Gran Canaria again. He couldn't do what he's able to do. He had like some stomach problems, some health issues during Trans Gran Canaria. Same thing happened to him in Madeira Island Ultra Trail. But now finally he's back. Miguel Areno, Mike Show is back and taking the lead on the last stage, on the last few kilometers of this Swiss Canyon Trail race. He was patient. He did a fantastic strategy. He left Ale, Chabel, Wang Fumeng just fight each other, battle each other, and he was there just waiting to make his attack, make his move, and now you can see him crushing on this last 20K, more or less, that he has in front on the last little loop of the race. According to the tracker, he already went through the 89K mark. Let me just do a quick refresh. They are running together. So they went together through the 99.7K mark, the Chapeau Napoleon, with Abel Carretero, and it seems like he's really looking above his shoulder, because he definitely made the move there. We're just over the 100K mark. So it's the final 11 kilometers for Miguel Areno, but Abel Carretero is really close. They went through the aid station together, and it looks like he's attacking. Let's see if Abel has something to counterattack, to fight Mike Show, and see if we have one of these epic finishes towards the finish line. I'm going to do a quick update in Spanish for those who are watching right now. Estamos mirando en este preciso momento al señor Miguel Areno. Acaba de pasar el kilómetro 100 de la Swiss Canyon Trail, de estos 111 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail. Miguel Areno, el portugués del Team HG, Mike Show, pasó junto con Abel Carretero por el kilómetro 99, por el kilómetro 100, y dio su ataque, dio su zarpazo ahí en la salida del puesto, que es donde estamos, que es lo que estamos mirando ahora. Están transitando los últimos 10 kilómetros aproximadamente, y vamos a ver qué pasa ahora. Para el amigo Paulo Garrido desde Neuquén, un coterráneo neuquino como yo, no lo vimos más a Gaby Rueda, lo vimos al principio de la carrera esta mañana temprano, y no nos aparece en el tracker. No podemos confirmar nada, pero en breve voy a hacer mis averiguaciones pertinentes. Un abrazo al neuquino. So we're back to English after our brief update in Spanish. We're watching the final 10 kilometers of this Swiss Canyon Trail, 111K. Probably a bit more, around 14 kilometers to go. Doing the proper math right now. Sorry, I got a bit excited watching the amazing movement that Miguel Areno made to take the lead. And now he's pushing with everything he's got, even with his poles but there, don't be scared. There's there's other runners from other distances running on the same trails, probably from the 81, the 51, or the 31K. This final piece of the course is shared with most of the distances, so don't be scared if you see other runners passing through like right now. There's no doubt that the second place is Abel Carretero, who should be not far away from Miguel as they came out together, but it's definitely time for Mike Show's appearance right now, making his move towards a possible win on the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail. Welcome everyone again. My name is Mauri, and I really hope we have a blast of a race for this finish line. And I don't want to leave out an update from the ladies' side with Marian Hogan still leading in absolute dominance. Let's see exactly what was her last position. She went through 9 minutes ago through the Les Places aid station. That was 83.2 kilometers. She went by 9 minutes ago. In first position, let's see on the previous aid station on the 75K mark, what was her gap? Okay, we have top 5 women through, top 3 women through the 75K aid station with Marian Hogan leading. She had a gap of 22 minutes over Manon Bohart, and Audrey Virgilio was 39 minutes behind. So everything looks like it's going to be an easy race for all 3 of them to secure this podium spots towards the finish line. But now, with the man of the moment, Miguel Areno, Mike Show himself, crushing this uphill. Let me just do a quick glimpse on what they have towards the finish line. So they went through the 100K mark. They have around 10 kilometers to get to Cubet, back to Cubet, where the race started earlier today, to that track they saw early this morning. He's going through the last little uphill. He's got almost 300 meters of elevation gain. It's not that bad considering what they had on their legs already. It's just securing there that he's got the leg speed to go to that downhill. The downhill, it's a bit harder. They have almost 420 to 500 meters of elevation loss to get to that finish line in the track back in Cubet. So this is great. Now also sharing the trails with other runners, with the popular runners. As we see Wang Fu Meng go through the 100K aid station, if I'm not wrong. Let me just check on the timing real quick. Yep, we still don't have Wang Fu Meng on the 100K mark, but I can tell you that Aleix Toda went through in third, just 2 minutes back from Areno and Carretero. So we have Miguel Areno leading, our guy in the camera right now. Abel Carretero went through the aid station together, but Miguel did his attack. And we will see what's left on the legs for Aleix Toda, who led the race almost 80% of the race to now be in third position, still nailing a third spot today at this World Trail Majors race. Will be amazing for Aleix. Probably one of his best results on his career. Fantastic job for them. Looks like not a crack from Miguel Areno. It's taking a bit of a second now after his power attack. We just saw him do it. Taking a second to refuel after this powerful attack he did to not fail on these final minutes of the race. He's probably got, I would say, probably less than an hour to finish, which would be really fast. Would be almost an hour faster than will be almost an hour faster than what was done last year by Francesco Cucco, the ultra athlete. He did 11 hours and so, and I think Miguel is up for 10 hours ish finish, 10 hours and a half, probably a bit less. So let's cheer for Miguel. Let's cheer for the Portuguese army that is probably there on the chat cheering. I see Miguel Lesa, I see Ricardo Silva, Gonzalo Santiago, all cheering for their friend, for their man, Miguel Areno, the Portuguese, is about to take the win on this Swiss Canyon Trail. I want to go check what's the status of my fellow Argentinian Santos Gabriel Rueda, but Daniel, I'm gonna reply to Daniel. Daniel, Miguel is first right now. He's leading the race and he's moving towards the win of the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail. Let us know where you guys watching us from. I assume there's a lot of Portuguese people on the chat, but
I don't know. I know there is 600 meters until the finish line, and there is still 200 meters done, so 400 meters left.
Yeah, so
now for 400, little bit less.
Sorry, I was listening to our camera runner discussing with Miguel what's up next on the course. It says there's 400 more meters of elevation gain.
400 meters, and after it's a return downhill, and after you have 300 meters uphill.
Yeah, they have that's what we saw on the track, around 400 more meters of elevation gain for Miguel now, and then a fast long downhill of 500 meters elevation loss towards the finish line. Dylan says, let's go, Marian Hogan. Yeah, Marian is having a fantastic race today. She's been leading from the gun by herself, just opening gap towards Manon Bohard and Audrey Virgilio. Great race for Marianne today so far. Knock on wood for that. Hopefully she can finish the same way she started. Thank you, Miguel, from Madeira, home of the Madeira Island Ultra Trail, another sister race of Swiss Canyon Trail here under the World Trail Majors. Daniel, around, according to our track, it says that it should be 8K more or less, but I would lean more towards 10K because it's my Google Earth is not really working well.
I know what? No, first time.
Yeah, he's asking. They are chatting about. I don't know if you guys can hear the.
Not myself. Yeah, I'm discovering the track.
I don't know if you guys can hear the conversation between Miguel and the camera runner. He's asking is if he's Miguel is asking if he's
7,
local,
I think.
if he knows the
7
track
kilometers,
well.
I think.
So there he says that the camera runner is saying that he's not, and that he's also discovering the trail as much as Miguel. So yeah, Miguel, I think Miguel is trying to understand how long does
Yeah,
he.
but you want sometimes when you push in the pedal.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man. 1,300 meters per hour after 100 kilometers.
Well, hopefully you were able to hear that. But anyway, he's Miguel is trying to understand where is he standing and if he opens some gap and how long does he have to finish the race, how many kilometers are there left. And the camera runner is just congratulating him for the effort he just put to win some seconds. And he's a bit crazy after for doing that push after 100 kilometers. Let's see how it goes. They were really close with Abel Carretero. They were together, so the punch was to try to get off from Abel. But I wouldn't discard Aleix in the conversation. Aleix Toda, who's been crashing the race all day, and he was only 2 minutes back from this group. So amazing show from Mike. He's probably a bit hot, thirsty. Moment to refresh there. Must be really hot and humid there. So hopefully, Daniel, I replied to your question around for what they were saying around 7K. I would lean towards a bit longer. Ricardo from Lisboa. Obrigado a todo el público portugués por estar aquí. Bonjour, bon dia, buenos días a todos. Es KG. Thank you for being here from Finland. This is Jonel Christian Manole from Team Big K. Probably sitting in 5th position now, getting towards the 100K mark. Amazing job from Jonel too. Jonel, who had an amazing start of the year. Great job. He did a really good job in Gran Canaria, where he finished 3rd. The Romanian living in Spain from Team Big K. He's currently sitting in 5th, if I'm not wrong. Let me just go double check at the tracker. But let's see where he is right now. Yeah, he's sitting in 5th. He should be getting right now to the Les Verriers aid station. That's 89K. He's got a bit of a gap now. Well, I am absolutely sorry. I just read what they went there. This is he's brought. I think a relative from him was earlier today here. Hopefully, he's there again and apologizes. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to him right now. This is Francesco Cucco, the Italian who won the race last year, who won the 111K Swiss Canyon Trail last year. He's now leading. He's now leading the 81K So yeah, that is Francesco Cucco, who's gonna take the win. He's gonna take the win on the 81K of the Swiss Canyon Trail. Race that it's not part of the World Trail Majors as only the 111K is, but one of the main races of the event today. Fantastic race once again. He is not competing to defend his title from last year, but he's here to win another one. Francesco Cucco, the Italian, is gonna take the win on the 81K distance today at the Swiss Canyon Trail. He's back at Koubé. He's gonna get into that track, do a little loop on the track to finish in first position on this 81K. Looking relaxed, absolutely in control. He finished last year in 11 hours for the 111K. Let's see what his time is for the finish line in Koubé. There you have it. Francesco Cucco from Italy, from Team Ultra, takes the win at the 81 kilometers at the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail. Fantastic race for, let's try to hear.
C'était pas trop mal, c'était bien dans ta course. C'est compliqué aussi quand on est seul à gérer sa course comme ça quand on est devant. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? On regarde derrière, on voit le temps, on se dit, est-ce qu'on est, je le fais, ou alors je le fais simplement à la sensation, à l'envie.
Looking really smooth. Francesco Cucco, the winner of the 81K at the Swiss Canyon Trail 2024. And we are back with the man himself, Miguel Areno, who's leading in absolute control. He's leading the 111K of the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail. He was a bit worried about his gap between with his immediate followers on how long did he have to finish, but he's making this final traverse around the town of Koubé. He's gonna be crushing that final downhill. Mike Show is gonna get it. The one from the representative of Team Sport HG, the Spanish brand. And there he goes. Here it's the beginning of the final downhill. And we will see Miguel Areno take his first World Trail Majors win of the year in his third try. Great job for Mike so far. And again, it was our camera runner had a bit of an accident. Hopefully he's fine. Thanks of the live streamings, guys. This always happens. Hopefully he's fine and he can catch up with Miguel. First of all, he's healthy and well, and then he can catch up with Miguel Areno. I was saying that Miguel had a fantastic race today so far. Dialed super well from the beginning. He was patient. He he was progressive. He ran a progressive race as he usually does. There he's back. It's a good signal. Our camera runner is fine. That's great. But yeah, it looks like his legs are hurting a bit there on this final downhill. Wouldn't surprise us. Of course, he's been running for 9 hours and a half so far, over 100 kilometers on his legs already, and he's ready to take this final, let's see, probably this final 4K to the finish line. Let's check if the final point is working. Looks like it's not. But I got an update. Wang Fu Meng, the Chinese athlete from Hoka, went through the aid station number 12. That is Chapeau Napoleon at 100K. And he is now 13 minutes behind the leaders, 9 minutes behind the third place, Alex Toda. So looks like the podium spots are secured for all three runners. If you see the map there, they should be on the top right of the track, that little the little C you see there. That's where Miguel Areno is. And then the rest of the runners are a bit behind that. We're back with Miguel. It's a pretty steep downhill, and it's long. It's almost 4K, 5K. So it's pretty much. So this is the most technical terrain we have seen during the whole race, and it's in the last portion, the last bit of the race, where it got more technical regarding the rest. Not even the higher part, not even the ridges up there were so complicated as it is now, which makes it even more interesting, right? It's going to be fun to see these guys crushing towards the finish line, trying to catch on each other. Looks like Miguel has a secure first place, but we don't need to forget that Abel Carretero and Aleix Toda are chasing, and they also want that precious finish, that precious win here at the Swiss Canyon Trail. Let me just go do an update on the ladies' side while we wait for more information from the leaders. As we said, Marian Hogan is the only lady that went through the Les Place aid station, 83K in 9 hours and 3. That's already half an hour ago. So we're gonna wait now to see what's the gap between her and Manon Bohat, but it should be around 20 minutes with the second lady, Manon, and around 40 minutes with Audrey Virgilio, who was third so far. Let us know, what do you guys think? I know there's a bunch of Portuguese crew here. I know you guys have Madeira there, really close, Madeira, or you even live in Madeira. The Madeira Island Ultra Trail must be, if not your favorite race, but probably a great place for you to run. But what do you think so far of the Swiss Canyon Trail? For what I've seen earlier today, especially on the higher parts.
300 meters. I don't know.
Okay.
Nobody behind.
He's constantly trying to understand where his chasers are, and they seem to be now reaching that little final. There's like after the downhill, there's like this little small peak there. But yeah, I would definitely like to go. ran at least one of the smaller distances so I can get to see these guys finishing and battling each other on the
Normally not 300, but
on the 111K.
Yeah.
Must be really hard also being the leader on the final stages after an attack as the one that Miguel did, to not know, to have little understanding of where you're staying, where are your followers, how much more do you need to resist this effort. But he's got it. He knows what it is to be in this position, and he actually likes, I think, to be in this position of stress and trying to escape from the rest after a long of being in the front, trying to escape from the rest. He's for what we could see on the map, you surround the finish line for a while. This is one of those tricky final parts of the race where you're seeing and where you're listening to the finish line for a long period of time, but you never get to it. It's one of those mind crushers. But it looks like Miguel has it. Miguel is a beast himself. He knows again what it is to be in this position, especially after his win last year in Ultra Pirineo, where he was being chased by Miguel Eras himself. But in total dominance, and as if he was a veteran of the sport, he managed to stay on top, to control, to dominate the race and dominate his body and mind, and finish in first position. It looks like it's going to be the same for him again. All right, we're going to have a start. Right now, we're going to see a start. If I'm not wrong, this should be the 16K start. Let's just go double check it. Absolutely. They are starting in... Oh, it's the 31K start right now. In just a few minutes, they're going to be starting from Cube and back after 31.6K with 1,300 meters of elevation gain. They'll be back to that same track to finish. My good friend Fernando Gonzalez is about to start this race. I was texting him. He's probably watching his phone there somewhere. I'll just text him. All right. So yeah, again, this is the start. This is going to be the start in 5 minutes of the 31K of the Swiss Canyon Trail. 2 more starts remaining, this one and the 16K, to complete the 5 races of this festival that is growing even after 29 years. This is the 29th edition of the race, and keeps on growing, keeps on getting better and better now as part of the World Trail Mayors, the Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors, with its 111 kilometers distance. But yeah, we will see. It's probably one of the most popular races from the event, together with the 16K. It's an attractive distance. It's not that complicated as other races of the similar distance, not just in Switzerland, but in Europe in general. So just want to to take in count for next year if you're all around. Yeah, and as Daniel says, we have Madeira, but of course we would like to run in Swiss as well. Of course, the Swiss Alps are definitely really, really attractive. Pedro says, vaya Arsenio, aprieta como a máquina. Says, cheering for Miguel Areno, Mike Show, our leader on the 111K. Need to push one final push for Miguel Areno. But now we're gonna stay for a second with the start of the 31K. That's a beautiful Hello Kitty castle, right? That is something unusual for me. I'm from Argentina. I'm not used to seeing kids games on the start lines. I've seen something a bit more common here. Yeah, let's just go with the star line vibes. I'm gonna let you listening to our speaker hear the pump, how he pumps up the whole thing for our runners there. The proper motion from the start line. The 31 kilometers of the Swiss Canyon Trail are about to start. And they are off. The 31 kilometers of the Swiss Canyon Trail are off. One of the fastest distances we have here. The second to last start of this festival of 5 races, plus the youth race they had yesterday. We're gonna see some fast runners doing a quick loop on that track to get out to the mountains and tackle these 31 kilometers with almost 1,300 meters of elevation gain. So let's see. Can't see. I'd like to see how many people are there, but that's a bunch of runners. Don't want to count. I don't want to get over my head counting, but that looks like it's almost 1,000 people out there to go run, hike, walk, just traverse and have a fantastic day out there. Beautiful evening on the Swiss Alps, on the Jura Mountains. Not a better way to spend the Saturday, right? We're back with him. We're back with Mike Show, our leader, nuestro líder de la carrera, el señor Miguel Areno, a punto de completar y de ganar estos 111K, estos 114 y moneditas de kilómetros que tiene realmente la Swiss Canyon Trail. Impresionante lo que está haciendo Mike Show. Ahí veíamos a toda la gente de Portugal prendida a fuego en el chat, alentando a Miguel. Thank you guys. Thanks, Daniel. The Daniels for being there in the chat. I know there's a lot of beauty out there in Portugal, not just I know Madeira is like the tip of the top of the Portuguese trail running scene, but I had the chance of being in Braga in 2016 as part of Team Argentina for the World Championships, the Long Trail World Championships. Got to meet Braga and the whole area. Can't remember the name of the mountain range of the forest there. It was just beautiful. Some really cool historical architectonical places too. Not just the trails. Everything was great. The trails, the food, the people. It's really, really cool. And now there he is. That's Ionel Cristian Manole, the Romanian living in Spain athlete. I'm sorry, before I had a huge confusion with Francesco Cucco, but the guy we saw for a second. It was that was Ionel Cristian Manole running in 5th through the 100K mark. Right now, fantastic job also for Ionel. For sure, Madeira is the pinnacle, but the moment the event Serra da Estrela is amazing too. Okay, I'm gonna check that one out. Go, Miguel, says Miguel. Okay. So we see our volunteers there taking care of the athletes, more runners from the 80K. There too, from the 80K, from the 81K, from the 51K for sure, and now also probably gonna share at some point with the 31K runners that we just saw starting. We have one more start at 3, I think it's 3:30, 3:45 for the 16K, the shorter distance of the event. We'll probably get to see it too, so stay tuned. We have a lot of action. We still need to see how the race unfolds for Miguel Areno, the guy we're watching right now, how the race goes for Marian Hogan, our women's leader. Hopefully we get to see her too, just for you to understand. Our camera runners are located in the last 10 to 12K of the race, and Marianne hasn't made it too. She was standing more or less in 12th position overall, and we just saw on the first camera we just saw the 5th guy, the Ionel Cristian Manole, go through. So we're gonna have to wait for a second to see Marian Hogan, our Canadian leader of the Swiss Canyon Trail, 111K. In the meantime, we're seeing the final push of Miguel Areno. Mike Show getting closer and closer to that win on this Gran Canaria World Trails Major 6 stop. How y'all doing? It's almost 3 p.m. We are about to be, so it's 9 hours and 51 minutes elapsed since the race started. How's been your day so far? Have Have you gotten your kilometers, your miles dialed already? I'm waiting to see the action of the finish line so I can go out there myself too for a little run, for a little pedal. I don't know what's gonna be, but yeah, this is undoubtedly inspiring to get out of our homes and make some do some movement. And as we wait for more images, yeah, there you go. You ask it, you got it. We're gonna be running. I think we're gonna be with Miguel until the end of the race, and we're gonna have to wait for the upcoming. There's one more aid station at La Roche, one more intermediate point. We will see how it goes. It says that it should be estimated in 5 to 10 minutes for our leader to get there. Miguel is pushing really, really hard. Daniel says it's not sunny there. It's a good thing. It would be way more tiring and taxing on the body, especially after doing 100K. Yes, but I'm afraid it's humid. It's really, really humid because it was really sunny earlier in the morning. And then at some point around 60K of the race, it was cloudy and raining, like raining pretty hard. So I'm assuming the valley is like the race goes around the valley, up and down the valley from one side and the other. And I'm assuming this is really, really humid. So I know Miguel is used to humidity, considering he's Portuguese. But anyway, it must be tough anyway to keep your hydration up on top. I mean, get it dialed, get it well, so you don't get to the final half an hour, 45 minutes of the race suffering, and especially on this sort of humid terrain. It's gonna be, my personal opinion, I think I would rather a bit of dry heat than instead of this humidity on this uphill, that it's really, really tough. You cannot see in perspective of what the camera gets, how hard this climb is, but you can see it on his Miguel's body language, on the way he's stepping on his toes, like on the front part of his feet, and really using the poles and pushing really hard with them. It's definitely a really, really hard, really, really hard uphill right now. As Fabinho says, ¿cuántos kilómetros? Unos 5, sí, como dice Daniel, hay unos 5 a 6 kilómetros más o menos estarán faltando para que Miguel se corone ganador de esta Swiss Canyon Trail. Our camera runner doing a fantastic effort to catch up with Miguel, to stay
Thanks.
To stay there with him. He gets the other runner is congratulating our camera runner, and our camera runner says that Miguel is kicking his butt, and I bet great effort, great job for our camera runner who managed to stay with Miguel on that big push he did to stay out, to get away from Abel Carretero and Aleix Toda. And he's still here, still running really close, not bothering him on the front. But But yeah, fantastic effort for both Miguel, of course, and our camera runner that has been running a lot of hours today too. For those of you, I know there's a lot of fans out there from Miguel that already know him pretty well. But for those who don't, Miguel Areno from Portugal, 27 years for the Team HGAML Sport representative. He's had he's been running trails for the past 5 years after a background on mountain biking. He won a couple of local races in 2019. He was able to be fifth in the only race he ran. He was able to run in 2020. In 2021, he was fifth at the Portuguese National Championships. He did jump on the big scene in 2022, where he was second at Trilhos dos Abutres, one of the popular races in Miranda do Corvo in Portugal. He was he had a great race at the Cortina Trail in the Lavaredo Ultra Trail in Italy in 2022. He did run for Portugal in Thailand in at the end of 2022, part of the long trail. 80K squad from Portugal. He was 30th there, but definitely his breakthrough year was 2023, where he was second at Gran Canaria. He won the maxi race in NC, the famous 87K loop around Lac d'Annecy in France. He was third at the Ultra Skyrun de Madeira. He won Ultra Pyrénées. He was DNF at the Grand Trail de Templiers. But then he started back in 2024 with a win, one other win at the Trilhos dos Abutres. But he didn't have probably the races he may have expected to have, or he wanted to have for sure, at both Gran Canaria and Madeira Island Ultra Trail, the two races that are also part of the World Trail Mayors. So you can see him now nailing he's now nailing his first win on this year, his first big win at the Swiss Canyon Trail, also part of the World Trail Mayors, the Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors. Fabinho says he was not taken for the Portuguese. Look at that. I didn't know that. There's always stuff like this in the federations. It's not really cool, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. It's interesting. It's a longer talk that we should have in a sort of a cafe beer conversation. I would love to have with everyone. Of course, we have some same situations with the Argentinian national team. We have we have two top 20 athletes in UTMB last year, and they were not taken for the national squad for whatever reason. But that's it. There's different rules, different sort of things, but we need to enjoy anyway. We need to be able to be happy and enjoy the show that Mike Show is giving us right now, and how good his career has been after his second place in Gran Canaria last year, his massive win at Ultra Pyrénées. He's a great talent. He's only 27 years, which is really young for the distances he's aiming to race, and hopefully he can nail this win, I don't want to be, the bad luck charm in these final kilometers, but it looks like it's dialed. It's dialed for him, and he's gonna be really happy for taking this win. Well, happens everywhere. If it if it's funny for me to read it and understand that it's not just from one place. It happens everywhere. So thank you guys for joining the conversation. Thank you for jumping there. Muito obrigado a todos por sumarse a la conversación y charlar un poco conmigo, hacerlo un poco más ameno en este hermoso día, en este carrerón que tenemos en la Swiss Canyon Trail desde el corazón de Suiza, de los Alpes suizos. We're watching on the left. We have the finish line waiting for our winner, for what it's going to take for the final effort for our man Miguel Areno from Portugal, ready to win here at the Swiss Canyon Trail. So, would make me really happy, it'd be if you just share this link, the link of the YouTube live you're watching right now. Share it everywhere. Bring people to witness the finish line, to witness how Miguel Areno writes his own history here on his trail running career. And he takes another big step towards the major scenes on the ultra running world. Let's bring people to watch this amazing finish line, this beautiful final part of the 111K of the Swiss Canyon Trail, the sixth stop of the World Trail Majors. I'm pretty sure he'd be really happy. I don't know if Andre Rodriguez is also somewhere around there. Great dude, also the Scarpa team member. As we are now with some ambience audio from the finish line, and on the right we see Miguel heading towards back to town, back to Couvet, ready to take this enormous win.
C'est le jeu, hein. C'est les aléas de l'extérieur. Hein.
Juste gaffe pour ne pas te tromper de place.
Bah ouais, j'ai...
Parce qu'en fait, et puis en plus, il n'y en a pas... Non, parce que les gens du 16 qui passent la ligne ou à côté, ce qui fait qu'ils déclenchent des places qui n'ont pas lieu d'être. C'est pour ça qu'il faut faire attention de ça.
L'idée, ça serait de bosser pour eux ou...
Non, moi je reste journaliste.
Ça te fait kiffer là quand même faire ça
Bah très honnêtement non, parce que tu vois quand c'est la merde c'est moi qui me prends aussi les réflexions de foot, donc ça me saoule un peu.
Ouais.
Bah moi
tu sais dans quoi tu t'engages avec lui.
Ouais, mais du coup...
Et tu fais ça pourquoi là, pour le rendre service ou...
Ouais, financièrement c'est hyper intéressant de faire ça.
Vous prenez quoi, 500 la journée là?
Ouais, à peu près. Bah, lui il prend plus, mais moi c'est ça. Mais bon, une journée de journalisme...
Le dossard.
All right. We have one of the But it looks like she's the leader of the women's race at the 81K from yeah, she's I'm assuming she's the leader of the 81K here at the Swiss Canyon Trail. Yeah, she was holding a pink bib, sorry, a yellow bib. Yeah, absolutely. That's Manon Campano, if I'm not wrong. Let me just double check with the chrono. So we don't missay her name. Absolutely, that's Manon Campano from Team Merrill. She's currently sitting in 5th overall. What a fantastic race for her, leading the 81K on the women's side, but also sneaking in the top 5 overall. And you can tell she's crushing. Let's find out more about Manon. Let's talk a bit about her. Manon was 8th at the advanced distance in Gran Canaria, the 84K at Gran Canaria. She was 2nd at the Eco Trail, the 80K race in Paris. She won the Volvic Volcanic Experience 112K, and she was 7th overall there already. She's really crushing. She's from Team Merrill. She DNF last year at CCC. She was top 10 at the Istria 100. Just to call out races that we all know, but she's been winning probably not as famous races as that we may know. But yeah, she's been doing really good, and this is probably going to be one of her top results. Well, she was 5th at the famous La Sainte-Lyon in 2021. She's been running races since 2017 that we can connect. So Manon Campano, leader of the 81K race in the women's side. For Ricardo, who is asking, Ricardo, Miguel, Mike Show continúa primero y está a punto de completar ya sus 111 kilómetros. Ahí la tiene, está muy cerquita de completar y de ganar esta Swiss Canyon Trail. But now we are here with Manon Campano, who's currently, yeah, she's crushing. She's I really like it when runners are so smooth on their run, when after so much time they've been running. She's getting close to she's now between kilometers 68.7 and yes 78. It's getting closer to the 78K mark, which is amazing. Great race for Manon here. And running super smooth on the 81K. Let's see if we have some extra information on either the men's or the women's side. Absolutely. Through on the 111K race, through the 100K mark, after Lionel Christian Manoli, who was 5th, we had Lucien Epinet in 6th, running in 9 hours 51 elapsed. We had Tristan Blanchard in 9 hours and 58 elapsed in 7th place, and Harry Jones, the Merrill, the British representative of Team Merrill, was in 9 hours and 59. That was 10 minutes ago. So we're gonna have an interesting finish line. And actually, Manon Campano is it's good to see this because she the final aid station, the final mark is not showing up, so it's good for us to know this. She's ready to turn right there and get into the stadium to finish and win the 81K at the Swiss Canyon Trail 2024. Fantastic job for Manon, the French runner from Team Merrill, 33 years old for her. Super solid finish. Fantastic race for her. She's going to end up 5th overall on the 81K. We're probably going to switch to the... It's a bit of a mayhem there on the... with the cars. And yeah, she's going to get into it right now. She's going to go and win the 81K. So super tough, super strong finish for Manon Campano. 33 years old from La France. Our French runner. Now coming with our finish line camera runner. Manon Campano is going to be the winner. She's taking the final steps towards the finish line. There you got her. Manon Campano from Team Merrill wins the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail in its 81 kilometers. And she's not just the winner, she's also 5th overall. Fantastic race for her.
Podium. Ça a été en tout cas une superbe course que tu nous as fait maîtriser de A à Z. C'est alors disons, on a bien sûr pas dit finalement, ça monte, ça descend. Il y a des portions où il faut courir, il faut être un coureur en fait. Il faut être bon en montagne, il faut être aussi coureur.
Oh, excusez. Ah putain, je me suis dit. Ça va? Ouais, 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 nickel. Je t'ai régalé.
So let me do a quick update in Spanish. Acabamos de ver la entrada a meta de Manon Campano, quien ha sido la ganadora de los 81 kilómetros en esta Swiss Canyon Trail. Y no solo ganó, sino que también fue quinta en la general absoluta, quinta entre todos, con un carrerón increíble. Vamos a ver si puedo ver el crono de meta. Pero ha hecho una carrera tremenda. Manon, acá está. 9 horas 13:44 para ella. Que se queda con el triunfo en los 81 kilómetros. And we're back now with the fans. Fantastic cheering squad out there on the trails. We'll hopefully get... Well, yeah, we'll definitely get here a great image of Mike Show of Miguel Areno, who should be here any minute now. Fantastic. The kids there. It's a really... Those are not cowbells at all. Amazing.
plus jeune des inscrits. De quoi? Pas tout de suite.
So, Daniel, we're waiting for Miguel now here. He should be here any minute. And we're gonna reach him towards, we're gonna accompany him to the finish line. We've seen Miguel a lot, actually. That's great. I'm really stoked that we had such a good footage, so great footage of him on those last kilometers. Fantastic. Thank you. Gracias, Sergio, por la data ahí que estaba esperando. I was waiting for some data for today. I think we're on a way. I don't want to go up on myself so much, but I think we're on a way to potential new course records on both the men's and women's side. With the current records are from 2019. There we have Miguel Areno completely racing towards the finish line, super fast. Hopefully we can get together with him to the finish line, and then we can also see same footage of Marian Hogan, who's our women's leader, and Manon Campano, and oh, that's a big tractor. And Audrey Virgilio. But yeah, I was saying that maybe it's might be course record year, because the current ones are from Martin Kern in 10 hours 59 and 26, and Camille Bruyas, also the Salomon athlete, in 12 hours 14 and 50. So we may be on the way of new course records. That would mean that Miguel has at least 40 minutes to get to the finish line if he wants to break the course record, and it would be a couple more hours, 12 hours 14 minutes. Marian Hogan should get to the finish line before 5:14 p.m. So we will see what's happening, what's going on there, and we will push for Miguel to get that record, and I think he's gonna nail it. I think where he is now, that I know where he is right now, according to what we saw before with the 81K racers, but I don't want to be confused again and confuse any one of you that are watching, but he's really, really close to the finish line, and he still has like 39 minutes to crush that course record. What do you think, guys? Is he going to do it? Do you think he's going to run under 10 hours and 59 minutes? He's definitely running super well and definitely on pace to do it, but I want to read your comments. I want to read what you got to say. Estamos ante la posibilidad de un posible récord de circuito en esta Swiss Canyon Trail, en estos 111 kilómetros del Gran Canaria World Trail Majors, en su sexta parada aquí. El señor Miguel Areno, que está liderando, que tenemos aquí en imagen, debería correr en menos de 10 horas y 59 minutos, exactamente en 10 horas 59 minutos 26, que es el récord de Martin Kern del 2019. Y Marian Hogan, la canadiense que va primera, debería correr en menos de 12 horas 14:50, que eso sería llegar antes de las 5:14 de la tarde. ¿Qué opinan ustedes por ahí? ¿Creen que se bajarán los récords? ¿Creen que tendremos nuevos récords por cómo viene soplado, volando Miguel? Yo creería que estamos muy seguros de que no solo habrá récords, sino de que habrá destrucción de los récords. So, back to English right now. Miguel says record 100%. I think so. I really, really think so. Really like his the Miguel's shape of running, his form, his running form. He's super efficient. He's always when he's fine, he's always like stoic, right? Like super strong. And we have that is Aleix Toda. That is Aleix Toda más. Where are you, Aleix? He seems to be running in second right now. Let's see if our production guys can tell us what's his position. He may have surpassed Abel Carretero and maybe running in second. The Catalonian living in Switzerland, Aleix Toda más, who had a blast of a race today. He was super brave. Leading from the beginning, he was pulling the train, putting a huge effort to stay on the lead. And now he's got, well, the gap between, we saw Miguel running here earlier, the gap between him and Miguel is it's pretty big. So I'm safe to say, yeah, Miguel is already on the finish line, almost on the finish line. And I just want to know if Aleix is second. Tenemos a mano izquierda al señor Miguel Arsenio, ya en el pueblo, a punto de ganar estos 111 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail. A nada, a unos pequeños pasos. Y a mano derecha tenemos al señor Aleix Toda más. Uf. But now, we're gonna stay now with Mr. Miguel Arsenio from Portugal. Mike Show, the guy from Team Sport HG. Absolutely crushing the second half of the race in a masterpiece of a progressive race today. Being patient, being smooth. The Portuguese from Team Sport HG is gonna take his first win at the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors today at the Swiss Canyon Trail 111K. Mr. Miguel Arsenio from Portugal. Mike Show, he takes a second to thank everyone on the crowd, to thank the crowd. He nails it. And there you got him. Miguel Arsenio is the winner of the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail 111 kilometers, the sixth stop of the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. Amazing race for the Portuguese, who nails his first win of 2024 on the world stage. We see him hugging right now. Jordi from Team Sport HG. Lo tenemos al ganador de la Swiss Canyon Trail, de estos 111 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail. La sexta parada de la Gran Canaria, del Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. Señor Miguel Arsenio, Mike Show de Portugal, se queda con el triunfo y destroza el récord del circuito. Más de media hora por debajo del récord del circuito en este carrerón progresivo que hizo. Increíble el trabajo que ha hecho hoy el señor Miguel Arsenio. What a fantastic race for Miguel Arsenio. Let me just check the finish line timing, because I want to know how hard he went on the course record. But that was over half an hour for sure. And now we have Aleix Toda más. He's also coming down. That's gonna be a really close finish. That's why he was always, that's why Miguel was always looking above his shoulder, controlling that the race didn't escape from his hands after a tough start of the year. because Mr. Aleix Toda was just a few minutes behind. He was probably listening to him, probably hearing. He was really close. Look at this. This is going to be less than 5 minutes of a distance for Mr. Aleix Toda Mas, the Catalonian living in Switzerland. Compressport is his team, and he's going to be second today at the Swiss Canyon Trail. Chapeau to Mr. Aleix after having an amazing race, after being so brave. I'm not gonna be tired of saying it. He was leading from the beginning, just pushing really hard in front of the race, trying to set the pace, trying to nail the win from the beginning. But for today, he couldn't win over an impeccable Miguel Areno, who did a fantastic, strategic, mindful race. But Aleix should be proud of himself. We are proud of him, of course, in what's gonna be probably his best result on his ultra running career so far. And outside of the result, I would say his performance was sublime. It was beautiful. Great performance for Aleix today as he gets into the track. These final meters for him on the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail, 111 kilometers. Aleix Toda Mas from Catalonia, from Spain, living in Switzerland, pulling the train, taking his risks. He ends up in second place. Amazing race for Aleix Toda Mas, who finishes in second at the 2024 Swiss Canyon Trail 111K, the sixth stop of the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. Great race for the Compressport athlete. And really, really, really close to Miguel Areno. Some cramping for him there. But he recovered really well. He was third, 2 minutes back from Miguel Areno and Abel Carretero at the last aid station. And he managed to get back in second. We see him struggling a bit right now with some cramps on his quads. Fantastic race for him. Great job, Aleix.
Trop fort, t'es une machine.
De ce 111 km. Voilà l'Espagnol Alex.
Great sportsmanship there between both Miguel Areno and Aleix Toda Mas. After they battled all day, they've been running together. They were pulling their own bullets on each other. Great run for both of them. As we see, wow, that's Alexei Tolstenko, the Adidas Terex athlete. I don't know where this camera is staying right now. Where is he standing? But that was Alexei Tolstenko, the Adidas Terex athlete, winner of the 100 miles at Ultra Trail Cape Town last year. He was sitting in the back of the top 10 earlier today. We'll try to see where he's standing right now. So let me just tell you, the brand new course record for the Swiss Canyon Trail 111 kilometers is now in hands of Mr. Miguel Areno with 10 hours, 24 minutes and 09 seconds. That is 35 minutes faster than the previous course record from Mr. Martin Kern from 2019. Congratulations to Miguel. And I'm waiting to see Aleix's time, because he also ran under the course record. And I'm going to say that in Spanish too for a second. El flamante campeón de estos 111 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail es el señor Miguel Areno de Portugal. Y es el flamante también poseedor del récord del circuito, con 10 horas 24:09 para él, 35 minutos menos del récord que poseía el señor Martin Kern de 2019. And I'm gonna switch back to English because here it's him. Mr. Abel Carretero from Team Otso is about to finish in third place right now. The Otso, Team Otso representative, the Team Otso runner. He's got it also. Was a super close race after 114 kilometers exactly. Fantastic race for Abel Carretero. He was brave too. He was courageous in attacking around at around the 70K. He was leading the race for a while. But then, of course, those efforts, they take the toll at the end of the race. But he must be proud of himself anyway. Abel Carretero is gonna end up in third place. Spain and Portugal are taking the whole podium here in Switzerland today for the Swiss Canyon Trail. Great finish for the Otso runner. And there he's gonna take it. Right turn for him. And he's on the final stretch, the home stretch. Abel Carretero takes third today at the Swiss Canyon Trail 111 kilometers. The sixth stop of the Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors. Tired as his co-podium fellow runners. Fantastic for him too, and also way under the course record. Here we can see the cheer from Aleix Toda. They've been pulling the race, all three of them together. Fantastic race for Abel Carretero. 32 years old from Esportiu Penedès, Catalunya. Member of Team Otso. Born on November 25th, 1991 in La Pobla de Mafumet in Tarragona. Mr. Abel Carretero finishes in third. And for Daniel, who's asking, yes, all three runners that made it to the podium, Mr. Miguel Areno, Aleix Toda, and Abel Carretero, all three of them ran under the course record, the previous course record, but the new one is from Monsieur Miguel Areno, who did it in 10 hours, 24 minutes, and 9 seconds. That's 35 minutes faster than the previous course record. So let's check on timing to see all the proper times. 10:24:09 for Miguel Areno. 10:27:59 for Aleix Toda más. That's just 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And 10 hours, 32:39 for Abel Carretero, who finished in third. Fantastic effort for all three of them. Gonna do a quick update in Spanish. Los tres corredores integrantes del podio de esta Swiss Canyon Trail 2024 corrieron debajo del récord, previo récord del circuito, que era de 10 horas 59. Ahora lo tiene el señor Miguel Areno con 10:24:09. Aleix Toda más, el segundo tiempo más rápido de la historia de la carrera, con 10 horas 27:59. Y Abel Carretero con 10 horas 32:39 en tercera posición hoy y en el tercer tiempo histórico de estos 111 kilómetros. Let us know your thoughts. What do you guys think? This was a fantastic finish, way closer than what we expected. Just 8 minutes split it, the first from the third, in such a long race of 111 kilometers. And the good thing is that they are all battling for the World Trail Mayors, overall ranking. See a beautiful dog there. Joining Abel on the floor at the finish line. So after 2 not really good races for Miguel Areno, where he DNF'd on Gran Canaria and Madeira Ultra Trail. He was able to pull a win here. Fantastic win for him. And get on the talks for the World Trail Majors overall ranking. Aleix Toda is also jumping on the conversation, and Abel Carretero, of course, who is following the whole series. He's gonna be, his next race is the Quebec Mega Trail in Canada. But yeah, that is fantastic competition. Let's see how the rest of the top 10 unfolds, with Meng Wanfu, who's been in the conversation, also pushing towards the podium positions. Was the winner also of the ANTA Hong Kong 100 earlier in January, the race that started this World Trail Majors, the first season of the World Trail Majors. And of course, we want to know what's happening with the ladies, with Marian Hogan, with Manon Campano, and Audrey Virgilio, who were the top 3 ladies of the race today. What do you guys think? Perfect executed race for Miguel Areno. Fantastic time for him. And we'll see now what do we have from images in the next couple of minutes.
Quoi? Au chemin? Ouais. Et puis, est-ce que les coureurs sont prêts pour ce 16K? Ouais, mais là, ouais, il faut dégager quand même. Est-ce que vous êtes chaud? Voilà, est-ce que vous êtes vraiment chaud? Tiens, on va se tester un petit truc en attendant Patrick, parce qu'il n'est toujours pas vers moi. On va se faire une petite eau là, puisque moi je ne le verrai pas parce que je suis devant vous. Mais là-bas au fond, ils vont vous voir. On va partir de la ligne de départ jusqu'au fond avec une belle vague, et j'espère une belle vague. Allez, on va se faire, on se fait un essai pour aller jusqu'à...
And that is Marian Hogan. Marian Hogan, our women's leader, still with the same smile, still with the same crashing pace. Fantastic work for Marian Hogan and our cheering team. Let's see her get her aid from the crew. Some neck stuff there for her. She's looking great, actually. What do you guys think? And this is some sparkling water for her. Some cheer from the family there. We have a beautiful dog spotted there. And there she's out. She's out from the... Saying thank you, of course. Looking fantastic. As she did all day today. Marian Hogan, the leader of the 111K distance at the Swiss Canyon Trail. Sixth stop of the 2024, well, the first season, let's call it, from the Gran Canaria World Trail Majors. Tenemos en imagen a la líder de estos 111 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail, de esta Gran Canaria World Trail Majors, de la sexta parada, sexta carrera de esta primera temporada, la canadiense Marian Hogan, del equipo Salomon Internacional. Para los que no la conocen, ella ya fue segunda en la Western States, fue tercera en UTMB, una verdadera bestia del ultra running mundial, de las ultramaratones de montaña entre las chicas en los últimos 3 años. ha despegado, si viene corriendo trails y ultra trails hace unos 10 años más o menos, viene de un pasado del triatlón. Y, upa, ahí tuvo ahí alguna cosita post comida y post emoción de salida. Pero ahí la tenemos a Marian Hogan liderando 211 kilómetros todavía con la misma solidez de siempre. Impresionante. Bernard says I assume that she's flying like a plane. Absolutely. I agree. Running Dutchman, thank you for the heads up there. And absolutely, the three guys were running under the course record. And as per what we can see here, Marianne is also going to run. If everything goes well, everything keeps as it is, she's going to be running under the course record. She still has like an hour and a half. She's being asked by our camera runners to say hi. Great spirits for her. Looking really, really good right now. But there's a bunch of people there still connected, watching us, waiting for Marianne's finish line. I know the Portuguese gang might have left the chat after seeing Miguel Areno's finish, but let me know where you're cheering Marianne from, where you're guys watching the race right now. Really happy to be the host here and having witnessed the first streaming of the Swiss Canyon Trail event. Fantastic race so far. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. Completely different of what we are used to see on this of what can imagine of a Swiss race. It's just beautiful. So Running Dutchman says, are the conditions that good or did they change the parcours? No, the course is the same. I think it's a mix of great conditions for running plus bigger competition. The guys were pushing each other from the gun. There were 5 to 7 guys, at least up to 70K pushing each other. And that definitely makes the race faster. Same on the women's side. Well, it was Camille Bruyas who tackled this record, but Marianne is in a great shape right now. And yeah, she's been really pushed by Manon Buhar on the first half of the race, at least. So I believe this has to do a lot on the fast time she's doing right now for the ladies side. For Bernhard, that's asking about the distance that she's covered so far. If I'm not wrong, she already went through the 100K mark. Let me just double check with the timing. I don't wanna lie to you. So yeah, absolutely. She just went 5 minutes ago through the 100K mark. She was 12 overall. And let me just do a quick update. And it looks like she's not gonna run under the course record today, according to the predictions. So as we see Marianne running towards the finish line, I'm gonna have to So yeah, she's probably gonna pull out the poles right now. Exactly. She's been doing this all day during the race. She's trying to run on the flatter parts, trying to gain as much as she can on the flatter terrain. She's for what I can see, this is just take this from someone who's watching a person run on the camera. But looks like from this perspective that she's an amazing downhill runner. We saw that before. She's fantastic on the downhills, and she kind of takes that those fast legs on the flatter parts. But then when she gets to the uphills, she gets a bit more in control. She puts the trigger down a bit, and she controls more than what she does in the downhill. She's definitely stronger going downhill and in the flatter parts than going uphill. And she once the elevation changes a bit, she instantly takes out her poles. She changes her pace. She definitely controls her heart rate there. She gets down to the most efficient uh, walking, hiking, power hiking, quick running pace uh, as she can. But she's been nailing this since the beginning. We were able to see her for a really long time earlier this morning in the earlier stages of the race, and it was so fun to see her controlling um, at around, I think it was 48K on the race. It was a tough uphill transitioning to a ridge that was runnable, flat-ish ridge, and then to a downhill, like a super fast downhill. And it was really easy to understand her strategy on races, and she's been perfectly executing those from the beginning. Then she's always controlling her heart rate and also her nutrition. When every time she checks her watch every now and then, and she starts drinking or eating, which is really really interesting to see on the from this side and understand what the best of our sport is doing. So then we can, on our really mediocre running times, we can do as much as they do. Obviously, transported and translated to um, our slower paces. Uh, but it's really good to learn and understand how they do it and learn from them.
Aucun souci.
Running Dutchman says it's going to be my tactic for CCC. I will just go more than twice as slow. Yeah, that's exactly what I was mentioning earlier. Running Dutchman, uh, we need to learn and execute as much as possible uh, at our pace, right? if she takes 10 hours and we take 30, well, if we can do it copying all the tactics, well, we'll be happy of doing it the best possible. So there she goes. Well, probably with the hair bothering a bit, but yeah, again, she's being super efficient on the uphills and really loose and flowy on the flatter and downhill parts. But that's her. That's our women's leader, Marian Hogan from Canada, which is gonna tackle the final uphill and then go straight down to the finish line to take the win. Hopefully, knock on wood, of course. Still at least an hour ish to finish for her, but she's definitely pushing to get this done, hopefully under the course record. Love it when the chat gets its engagement. We should all get together and go for a run, right? So it's Trail du Saint Jacques and that's next week, right? What distance are you running, Dutchman? Hopefully you'll be inspired by today's performances from Miguel Areno, from Marian Hogan. Huh. Fantastic. Arman is going for a run. Okay, I'll meet you there. Says hopefully Bernard gets recover well, buddy. You still have time for to recover for UTCT. That's in December, if I'm not wrong. Also part of the World Trail Mayors. And I'm gonna have to be the bearer of bad news in a bit. But let's just enjoy this extra couple minutes we're watching. We're witnessing Marian Hogan crush this 111 kilometers of the Swiss Canyon Trail. The sixth stop of the World Trail Mayors. As you know, the World Trail Mayors, this brand new first season of this brand new series of races, of independent races that came to tackle this extra spot that was left there on the ultra running scene. The Gran sponsored by the tourism board of Gran Canaria, naming sponsor now of the Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors. Started this year with the Hong Kong 100 ultramarathon, then did the jump from Asia to the United States with Black Canyon Ultras, back to Europe with the world class, the North Face Trans Gran Canaria, back to Asia for the Mount Fuji 100. to another island, the Madeira Island Ultra Trail. And now we are currently on the weekend of the Swiss Canyon Trail, the race you're watching right now, where Marian Hogan is leading the women's race when Miguel Areno from Portugal blasted the course record earlier today. And also, in the heart of England, after this, it's Quebec Mega Trail in July, the Grand Raid des Pyrenees in August in France, and then to wrap up the first season, it's the R&B Ultra Trail Cape Town down in South Africa from November 22 to 24th. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned to Swiss Canyon Trails in Instagram. Please stay tuned to World Trail Mayors in Instagram, in YouTube, in all their social media. Go follow them right now, so you can stay tuned of all this new, really made with love, made with the pure heart, from runners to runners in every single organization that it's around there. And stay tuned for more news. Probably for 2025, there's going to be even more going around. I'm going to go with a little wrap up in Spanish. Para los que estén por ahí todavía, estamos en la sexta carrera de este Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors acá en la Swiss Canyon Trail, 211 kilómetros de la Swiss Canyon Trail. Este circuito, el Gran Canaria World Trail Mayors, que comenzó este año, que está comenzando este año, que arrancó en enero con la Hong Kong 100, siguiendo con Black Canyon Ultras, después la mismísima de North Face Trans Gran Canaria, saltando en abril a la Mount Fuji 100, a la Mute del Madeira Island Ultra Trail, y ahora estamos justamente en la Swiss Canyon Trail de Suiza, y a la par con la South Downs Way en Inglaterra, para luego seguir en julio con la Quebec Mega Trail, en agosto con el Grand Raid des Pyrenees, Grand Raid de los Pirineos, y para cerrar el año y esta primera temporada en noviembre, 22 al 24 de noviembre, en la RMB, en la R&B Ultra Trail Cape Town, en la Ultra Trail de Ciudad del Cabo en Sudáfrica. Mientras vemos a Marian Hogan, les pedimos por favor que vayan a seguir en Instagram, en todas las redes sociales, tanto a Swiss Canyon Trail como a World Trail Mayors, para enterarse de todo lo que va a pasar durante el resto del día desde Suiza, como también en todo el resto del circuito durante el año. A nosotros nos va a tocar cerrar, nos vamos a tener que dejar acá, porque nuestros compañeros deben terminar esta transmisión, lamentablemente. Por eso los invitamos a que sigan en redes sociales para poder enterarse de cómo termina esta carrera femenina en la Swiss Canyon Trail. So, yes, it's going to be So, unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the streaming. Please go follow Swiss Canyon Trail, World Trail Mayors in Instagram to see how the women's race unfolds. My most sincere apologies from me and the whole team at World Trail Mayors. But yeah, let's keep it up. Let's see each other in Instagram. My name is Mauri, and this is a wrap of this fantastic first streaming of the Swiss Canyon Trail, the sixth stop of the World Trail Mayors, straight out from the Swiss Alps. And thank you so much for being out there. See you on the next one.